Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
It is an honor. We want to get right into the discussion. You were recently in Haiti. Share with us, and this is radio, we've seen a lot of the television images, but for our radio audience, could you paint a picture of what you saw while you were there?
Well, I'll do my best. It's almost impossible to describe, but basically you have more than 100,000 people killed, the exact number not known, at least 200,000 injured, probably 300,000 people or more without a good place to sleep. Every green space in the city of Port-au-Prince. And in many of the little smaller cities to the west is covered with someone sleeping outside. Mm. They have no sanitary facilities, and they're wholly dependent on people to bring them food and water. Now, the banks are open again, and the cell phones are working again intermittently, although I still have trouble getting through to the government officials every day. And therefore, there's some remittances coming from Haitian Americans back to their families. Some of the stores are open. Some of the commerce is beginning to operate. But, for example, most Haitians got around by cabs, those beautiful, brightly colored cabs that are the main form of Haitian folk art. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them are out of commission. Mm. So basically, the presidential palace is destroyed. The great cathedral built in 1750 is a rubble. The main government ministries have been wrecked. The legislative building has been wrecked. And the government is operating out of makeshift quarters but the USAID and the State Department are building offices out at the airport for the president and the prime minister and their government, and we're increasingly encouraged by the ability of the government and the UN and the U.S. to coordinate their operations every day, but we still have amazing needs for food and water, and we're getting tents in there, more tents every day, and then we got to get sanitary facilities to avoid an outbreak of disease. So it's almost hard to imagine, if you've never seen anything like this before, how much there is to do and how totally ravaged the place is. On the other hand, notwithstanding some of the pictures of violence and some gangs trying to, steal food and other things, the people have been remarkably peaceable, considering the fact that they spent days and days with no place to sleep, nothing to eat, no water to drink, and everything went dark at night. We're getting in some solar street lamps.
Right.
We're bringing about 100 of those in, and I've got 6,500 solar flashlights that all you do is just leave them out in the sun in the daytime, then they'll burn 4 hours a night, and when they get tents, they can hang up in the tent for night lights. We'll have them in soon, and, we're just trying to fill these needs as quickly as we can, as we know them. I took a plane load of hospital supplies down there specifically ordered by the largest hospital in the country, and we got a lot of help out of some remarkable Canadians, Joy Adler of the One by One Foundation, Frank McKenna, who was former ambassador to the United States, and a man named Ed Rogers, who gave $250,000, and then the University of Pennsylvania Medical School literally filled out a list of like 36 antibiotics and painkillers they needed, and we brought them some lamps so they could operate all night long, and 32 generators so they and the other hospitals could have power even if the central system failed. So we're still trying to respond to the immediate needs, and I think my job was to rebuild them, and I still look forward to doing that.
Right.
And I have contacted all the investors who came to the investment conference and pledged to help, and they have re-upped. We had a meeting in Florida last week of all the people who had committed more than $100 million of support for Haiti at the CGI, the global initiative I have every year.
Sure.
And that group is being led by Dennis O'Brien, who runs Digicel, the biggest cell phone company down there. They all reaffirmed their commitment. I had a meeting with more than 50 of the non-governmental organizations and some philanthropists. They reaffirmed their commitment. So we're moving in the right direction here. I just, it's just agonizing because we're nowhere near to finding all the bodies. There's still at least 4 American students who haven't been recovered or found, and the assumption's not good, but nobody knows where they are, and there may still be some people found alive. I mean, we found somebody the day before yesterday, and the longest we know of anybody's ever been buried in an earthquake and lived is in the Philippines, 14 days.
Yeah.
And we're coming up on that now. So
there's still some hope. We've already seen some miracles as well. I do want to acknowledge, and you touched on this, that your office, the Office of the Special Envoy, has delivered medical supplies, electronic supplies, infrastructure supplies, telecommunications. And I just want to acknowledge that, especially because a lot of people really don't know what the Office of the Special Envoy does. I think what you just said is that you're tasked ultimately with rebuilding Haiti, correct?
Yeah, when they asked me to do this, it was after in 2008, Haiti lost 15% of its annual income in 4 hurricanes.
Yes.
But they have the best government they've had in my lifetime. They have a real commitment to change, and I told the Secretary General of the UN that if the Haitian government was willing to come up with its own economic plan, they could take the one the UN had done by Dr. Paul Collier at Cambridge and others, but if they would adopt an economic plan, then I would give them a minimum of 2 years to help them implement it. And my job was to get all the donor nations and other international groups to honor their commitments, to generate more private investment, to mobilize and organize the non-governmental community. There are 10,000 non-governmental organizations there, many of them American faith-based groups, but they've never been organized together, so they were working together. We've done that. And that I would try to organize the Haitian diaspora community in the United States, Canada, and eventually in France and the rest of Europe to get everybody helping. And I would work with the Haitian government. They did some good things before this earthquake. They gave dual citizenship to the Haitian diaspora, which means they can invest there with less hassle. They can go home and participate in the political life of the country. It was a big deal. They shortened the time between the time, let's say, an American wants to put a plant down there and they get approved. And what we need to do now is to have first we need to take care of people. We need to be able to let them know that from week to week they're going to be okay. They're going to have a place to sleep. It's going to be safe. They'll have clean sanitation. They'll have food. They'll have water. They'll have access to medical care. Then we need to think about getting the schools reopened, even if in temporary circumstances with borrowed teachers. But then we need an assessment of what it will take to rebuild not just Port-au-Prince, but all the other places that have been damaged. How quickly we can get economic life going in the rest of the country, and how this is going to be organized so the world is confident the money will be spent openly and honestly as it was in the tsunami. And then, if they want me to, I'll do 3 more years on top of the year I've already done. I'm committed to this country, and I believe, even in spite of this, they have the best chance they've had in my lifetime to build the kind of country that the children deserve. If you look at the Haitians in America, for example, they do remarkably well. They've made an enormous contribution to our country, and I just want to see them have the same chance at home.
No, well said.